Now, the world is increasingly seeing the U.S. as a threat. And this is not just Washington's rivals, but its allies as well. Multiple new surveys show that across the globe, people are increasingly viewing the U.S. as a threat to national security. And this has been constantly reflected at the Munich Security Conference as well.
The US remains an indispensable ally. Its contribution to European security over 80 years is unparalleled, and so is our gratitude. At the same time, we recognise that things are changing. The US national security strategy spells out that Europe must take primary responsibility for its own defence. That is the new normal.
A gulf, a deep chasm, has opened up between Europe and the United States of America.
It is in the midst of a great deal of uncertainty, but we have clarified what we want for ourselves and what we need to do, and the United States needs to clarify what it is prepared to do for the Europeans.
The European leaders seem to be reflecting what their people think. A survey was commissioned for the Munich Security Conference. It asked residents of the G7 and BRICS nations what they viewed as threats to their countries. Russia was not included in the survey, but almost every other nation from the two blocs saw the U.S. as an increased risk. The risk perception had increased by double digits in some cases. Historically friendly nations such as Canada and India had some of the sharpest spikes when it comes to their risk perception of the U.S. Only China and Japan thought the U.S. was less of a risk. The survey was conducted last November before the U.S. abducted Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and before U.S. President Donald Trump's renewed calls to annex Greenland. A more recent poll was taken by YouGov. It was conducted in early February. This survey shows that close to half of the people across 6 nations think the U.S. is a moderate or major threat to Europe. Washington took steps to reassure its European allies at the Munich Security. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said this. Let's hear it out.
For the United States and Europe, we belong together. So in a time of headlines heralding the end of the transatlantic era, let it be known and clear to all that this is neither our goal nor our wish. Because for us Americans, our home may be in the Western Hemisphere, but we will always be a child of Europe.
Rubio invoked the shared past of Europe and the U.S. He said that Trump cares about Europe deeply and that the U.S. wants Europe to be strong. Rubio received some praise from the European leaders at the Munich Security Conference. But will his speech be enough to assure the people of Europe? Well, that's to be seen.